All right, so I am building a winter sugar box using this 1/2 inch, I guess it's like chicken wire, 1/2 inch squares. And I don't know if it's the right thing to do, and I started second guessing myself after, but I cut this box down, this Honey Super box down, so that I could fill this with sugar or maybe put a layer of insulation on top, some wood chips or something. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I'll show you how I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna lay this across the bottom. I'm gonna staple it all the way around, trim the excess, and then what you do is you put your sugar patty in there, and then the bees can come up. This is the bottom. They come up through here. This kind of holds that hardened sugar patty in place that you make, and then come up through here to feed on that. And they'll start feeding on it, and then they'll start crawling up as they work their way in. And I'll leave some little gaps in here in the corners for them to crawl up on top of it as well. So you'll see as the video unfolds. Okay, so I use these metal shears to trim it. In retrospect, it would have been easier to lay it out on here, trim it, and then set it on here or nail it on. Otherwise, I had to kind of fold it up a little bit and try and trim it, and it left a few little prongs along here. But no big deal. I think it'll be fine. I just put staples all the way around the staple gun. So the T50s. And I think that'll do. Stapling this to the bottom allows you to, on your kitchen counter, to take your mixture of sugar and water and mix it up, and then just push it in here, pack it in here, and that way it kind of pushes through the mesh a little bit, and then you let it sit and it'll harden, maybe overnight or whatever. Put a couple wood blocks in the corners so the bees can crawl up on top and feed off the top, and they can eat it from the bottom coming through these holes. And when you lift this up and take it off the counter, you can just easily, with warm water, wipe up whatever stuff is on the bottom. But that way your bottom mold is solid and tight as this hardens overnight. And it's easy just to wipe off your kitchen counter. So. All right, so I took a table saw and cut a small Honey Super into a third, and then a third, and then 2/3. I did this bigger one because I had the idea that I might put like a quilt on top with the shelving, like of wood chips, to help with moisture. That's the biggest threat against a hive. It's the biggest threat against a hive in the winter is moisture, and they get wet, and then they just can't survive. So you need ventilation, and something has to wick the moisture. But these sugar patties will wick quite a bit of moisture. So anyway, these things are like 40 bucks a piece if you order them online. So for the cost of cannibalizing one Honey Super, I built my own, and I probably should have just built them out of scrap lumber anyway, which I'll do in the future, and then it wouldn't have cost hardly anything. So that'll work great. Put a vent hole on that one as well. And this is the actual size of those you order online. So this one's just a little bit bigger, and it has handles. So anyway, pretty slick. Okay, so I'm gonna take sugar, some warm water, and mix that by hand, and then pat it down into here and create the sugar cakes to set on top of my bees. See how they do. So I've hand mixed this to the consistency that it's packing together. Might add a touch more water. It's a little bit crumbly. Now I'm gonna pack it into this tray. I put 1 cup of water in this big bowl and it seemed like it was enough, but it is a little bit crumbly. All right, that's about 3 bowls of this and like probably 15 out of the 25-pound bag. So take that out. That should leave space for the bees to crawl up and ventilation. And then I did drill a hole on that so they can reach it from the outside if they want. And extra ventilation. Okay, so that should harden overnight. And then I can just lift it up and set it right on top of the hive. I should be able to feed on that through the winter. All right, so I've been using these as forms and framing insulation boxes to slip down over those. This is for the double hive, and this is for the single hive. There's an extension on top for the sugar boxes I'll place on there. So I just used glue, some liquid nails for foam board adhesive, and I did throw some just 2-inch brad nails in, mainly just to hold it in place, make sure it didn't pull apart. But we'll see how those do this winter. This foam board was a little bit dented and a little bit uneven, so I didn't take my time to, oh man, looks like it came apart right there. Did come apart. That's not what we want to see. Guess I'm gluing again. So this is pretty hard now. I might have put a little too much water in because it still has some softness, some give to it. I mean, it's hard, but has some softness to it. Whereas the others I saw was kind of like rock candy, it seemed like. But I mean, it'll serve the same purpose. It'll be fine. I think I'm gonna go out and try and set it out on my hives today. It's only 40 degrees, but I'm afraid it's not gonna get much warmer. Okay, so I've slipped this over. I cut it so they can still get in and out down there. And I set my candy frame on there. It's sitting right on top of the frames. And now I'm gonna put this on. That smoke's pretty pungent today. And then I'm gonna set this top lid on if I can get these bees out of here. Afraid I'm gonna knock them off and they're gonna get ticked off. Okay, so that's on. I think that'll get that hive through the winter. They got tons of food and I think we're good. Just make sure that's sealed right. The bees are hitting me in the head. I don't think they're happy, so. Anyway, I'll do this one next week. It looks like there might be a day next week when it's 50 degrees and they have tons of honey. This hive only has maybe 8 frames out of the 10. They just never recovered from that swarm. So, I mean, it's end of October. It'll be November 1st in 3 days. It's like the 28th, 29th. Maybe it's too early to put this sugar. I don't know. This is my first time. But I'm just going to get it on there before it starts getting really, really... It got down to 10 degrees last night. And this hive just doesn't have much food. So that one I fed all fall with the syrup. Plus they had 2 full frames. I haven't really got in there too much. I was trying to leave them alone. Bees are landing on my hands. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because they're starting to hit me in the head. I don't think they're happy about me taking them out. There are a whole bunch up on the top frame. So I don't know why, because they've been clustered. Anyway, that should be good. See if that works. Okay, it's pretty windy, but I'm gonna put the second winter patty on. I made this one with a little less water. It's more solid and hard, so it turned out better. And I put more vent portals. I'm gonna slip that on there. It's supposed to get icy cold. It's probably too cold to be doing this. It's only in the high 30s, but I'm gonna try and be quick about it and see what happens. I'll try and film this, but it's difficult. Not sure if the bees are gonna be nice, so I'm put my gloves on and all my whole kit. This hive was a little bit rowdy towards the end of summer as they got so big. Try and be super quick about it. A lot of dead bees in there. That makes me nervous. Crap. There's a ton of honey in here. I think the bees are all down low. Yeah, I can hear them. This upper box warped, so it's flared out. Here come the bees. I can hear them in there, they're pretty pissed. Oops. Keep forgetting different things. To help create some space. Okay, so I've got that candy frame on, the second one for this hive. I slipped that over, left the bottom open so they can come in and out if it's warm. And I'm gonna put this on top. And then throw this cover on. This one I might be a little bit experimental here. I don't really know if this whole setup is going to work or not, but I'm going to leave a little vent port with this top deal. Man, that smoke's pungent. Oh, that's too high. I'll take that off. Smoke's killing me. Alright. Okay. So we've got that hive wrapped with sugar on top and that hive wrapped with sugar on top. So I think they're all set and good to go for the winter. There's a few out and about a little bit because it is in the high 30s, low 40s. So we'll see. Let me get behind this windbreak. We'll see if they survive the winter. It's probably hard to hear. We'll see if they survive the winter. It's supposed to snow. It already started snowing a little bit, but it's supposed to get really cold and snow for the next 10 days. It's November, so I think they'll be good, especially this double hive. We'll see how that goes. Should stay nice and cozy warm for the winter. Fun, fun. We'll check on them on a warm day in midwinter maybe, and then in the spring.